Hey guys, we finally have E3 in full swing now, so I just thought I'd do a really fast recap on all the big conferences we had leading up to E3. We had EA, Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Sony. We had some great game announcements, so in case you missed it, I'm just going to do a really fast recap on all the big announcements they had leading up to E3 today. So, first of all, EA. Some of the bigger announcements we had from them was, of course, their typical sport games. Your Madden 17, your FIFA 17. But we also got to see a little bit more of Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect personally is one of my favorite game series. We got to see Titanfall 2, which is going to have a campaign mode. Always nice. And we got multiple different Star Wars games that are being developed right now, as well as Battlefield 1, which is coming out soon. And we had a look at a game called FE that they didn't really share too much about, but they just kind of had a trailer that they brought to the show with them. And after EA, we have Bethesda, one of my favorite companies, I think. And the big games that they brought was Skyrim Special Edition. And if you haven't played Skyrim, or as some of you might call it, Skyrim Remastered, if you never got a chance to play Skyrim, there's no better time to just get into such a great game. Skyrim is so much fun. We also had a look at some more Fallout 4 DLC, Quake Champions, Prey. There's some more DLC for Doom coming out, and Dishonored 2. Now, Microsoft. Microsoft always brings a lot of games to the table, and what we got to see was another look at Gears of War 4. I'm a big fan of Gears of War series. We got Battlefield 1, which is coming out soon. We got another Forza Horizons 3. We got Recore, a little bit more information about that. We got Final Fantasy 15, Killer Instinct, Inside, We Happy Few. We had Gwent, a standalone game. So if you ever played The Witcher, there's a card game in The Witcher that was called Gwent, and they're coming out with a standalone game, so that should be pretty fun. Gwent was pretty fun in the game as well. Tekken 7. Tekken's always a good series. I've always been a big fan of those fighters, the Tekken fighters. Dead Rising 4 was a pretty big announcement. I'm sure everyone's pretty excited about that. We had Scalebound and Sea of Thieves. State of Decay 2 is coming out. If you ever got to play State of Decay, I'm really happy they're making another one. The first one was really fun, so I'm looking forward to the second one. And one of the bigger announcements for me was Halo Wars 2. If you never got to play Halo Wars, it was a really fun game. It's a RTS style Halo, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Halo Wars 2 is going to be like. Cinematics in that game is usually fantastic, and the gameplay is a lot of fun too. So that'll be awesome to see when it comes out in the future. Ubisoft was next, and they brought some pretty big games to the table as well. We got another look at Ghost Recon Wildlands, which has been in development for a while now. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Those South Park games are always a fun time. If you haven't played them, go play the first one, The Stick of Truth. I guarantee you'll have a good time. We got some more look at Division DLC. I'm not sure anybody's still playing that game, but maybe. Eagle Flight. We got to see some more Star Trek games. For Honor. That should be a good title. Trials of the Blood Dragon. Watch Dogs 2 was definitely one of their bigger announcements. And I believe it'll have a cooperative campaign. And we also got Just Dance 2017, if you're a fan of that series. And we had Sony's conference. Sony came out with some pretty big games of their own. Another God of War. It looks great. If you never played a God of War, it's a great series to get into. We got Days Gone. We got a little bit more gameplay look at the Last Guardian. Horizon Zero Dawn was big. We got Resident Evil 7. We also got another look at Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is being headed by Infinity Ward, which I think made my favorite Call of Duties, as well as Modern Warfare Remastered. Pretty excited about that. We got another look at some new Skylanders. Of course, Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Lego Star Wars. The Lego games are really fun games. If you haven't played them, they really are worth playing. We also got to look at a new Spider-Man game. And what I think is one of the biggest announcements is Crash Bandicoot Remastered. They're bringing Crash Bandicoot back to the PS4. Pretty excited about that. If you never got to play Crash Bandicoot, well, you missed out, and I'm glad that you can now bring it back in and be with the rest of us Crash Bandicooters who always had such a good time in that game as a, for me as a kid. And we even got a good look at some more of the VR titles that are going to be coming out. Some of the bigger VR titles. We had things like Batman Arkham is going to be in VR. We had Battlefront is going to have like an X-Wing VR experience. Final Fantasy, I touched on that earlier. Final Fantasy is going to have VR with the Sony's VR. So E3 is just getting started. These are just the bigger titles that we got to see at the individual conferences. Hopefully there'll be more to come. If there's a game you want me to cover more in depth, feel free to leave a comment about it and I'll make a video about it. I'll probably make a video later about which games I'm most excited about, most highly anticipating, and I'll give you a little bit more information on those games then. I just wanted to make this video real quick, just to do a real quick recap on all the big announcements we had over these past few days. So please share this video with your friends, maybe leave me a comment, just tell me I suck, whatever makes you happy. Thanks.